Yes, Mon, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. It's been ages. How are you?
It's been a long time. How many years? We're talking about how many years are we talking about?
I listen. I don't even want to count. You've been bad. You've been missing, but you're here now, so that's what counts.
Yeah, no, I'm here now. I'm happy to see you.
Yep.
Looking well, happy. Obviously, you've been on a mad journey yourself. Like you're not even, you know what I'm saying, not even in the UK. Am I allowed to mention?
Yeah, I know. Adulting, innit? We're all growing up. So like making mistakes and learning lessons from it and trying to correct it.
No, I hear you. So I've got a question for you is how's your 2020 been so far?
Boy, I don't even know how to summarize 2020. It's been a whirlwind, I would say. Start of the year, I was heavily pregnant, gave birth in February.
Congratulations.
And then like the week, thank you. I've got a 10-month-old boy now. And then literally like the week I came out of hospital, because that was even mad in itself, like the whole birth, whatever. I had emergency C-section, like nearly died basically. And then I come out and then there's a pandemic and everything gets locked down. Fortunately, my mum was able to come because I wasn't well or anything like that. And then it was just like mad. It was mad. Everyone who was supposed to come visit me, because obviously I moved from London to the US last year, and like so far away from everybody, my networks, everything like that. And then everything gets locked down and like my brother's flights get cancelled, all my friends, my cousins. And then I was just basically here. My mum got stuck here, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Like obviously I had her support, and then my mother-in-law came as well. So like we were just in our bubble. But I think like most people, it's been a year that's put a lot in perspective. I think for me, I've had to just reevaluate my whole life. I'm someone who's like really ambitious, and once I get set on my goals, I can sometimes be negligent of like relationship. So I feel like it puts certain things in perspective for me of what actually counts. And for me, having that family time was just priceless. And so that's been my priority now, like relationships, people, family. Like to me, those things like you can't put a price on. So like it's put a lot in perspective. And while I was able to kind of still achieve like goals, like we bought a new house and stuff like that.
Congratulations. You know what? You know what's mad? Yeah, like obviously because it started this sad, it's like about how you passing away and stuff. It's I know. But there's also good things. That it's nice to hear some good positive things as well. So you know, congratulations.
Yeah, it's just been a whirlwind of a year. That's how I describe it. And I feel like it's been like that for like so many people I speak to. Like you can focus on the bad, and honestly, like my heart goes out to like everybody who's lost someone, and people who've lost their jobs that don't know how they're going to feed their family and stuff. But I think it just, for me, it puts a lot of things in perspective, because it's made me so much more grateful for what I have and what I've still been able to achieve. Whereas before, it would just be, I achieved something and I'm on to the next thing and I'm on to the next thing. And I don't really take time to like appreciate and sit in what's happening in the present. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's just put things in perspective. Like it's been a lot, but I'm here. How about you? How's it been for you?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm here as well. Like I said, nothing's been easy this year for anyone. There's been like highs and there's been lows, but you know, like, we're just thankful to be here. Like definitely, I'm on the same wave as you. As in, like 2020, I think it's put in a lot of things in perspective as well. And what can I say? Like, I can't say it's been a great year. Like I said, like people are losing people are losing their work. It's been crazy, you know. Like in my community, as in the Congolese community, we've lost like a lot of people as well from COVID. So it's been a sad year for everyone, I guess. But I think on a positive note, the good thing is that, like we said, is I think in these sort of times you kind of get to see what's real and what's fake. Yeah. Because like there's no faking it. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's the time for the real. And it's either if you're real, then do you know what I'm saying? Like it's fake, then I don't know. I can't really say. I can't add more on it, but I know you feel. I know you feel my pain.
I understand 100% what you're saying. So I understand. Yeah.
And it's just one of those. But I want to focus on you, because this one's really about you. I'm so personally happy to have you, like, you know, on this call with me. And
Thank
literally,
you so much, bro. Honestly,
and,
I appreciate it.
and I want to let everyone know that you are the first person actually that I'm interviewing.
Woo!
So you're actually the first. Yeah? So I don't know how and what direction it's going to come out in. If this one's going to come out first, second, third, fourth, I don't know. But
yeah,
you are the first official. Big congratulations.
I'll celebrate that. I'll take that.
Yes, and this, I hope that can cover up for the years that I've missed.
No, we're gonna have a conversation about that on camera. I'll leave that for another time.
I knew you were something, but you don't forget nothing new. But I just wanted to ask you your passion. Obviously, you have a passion for something.
Yeah.
I know where it is, but I want to hear like I want the world to hear it. Like, tell us about your passion.
Honestly, I would say like my passion is actually people, like doing stuff like this, having like real conversation. I would say that for the longest time, I felt like there were a lot of people who I could see like beyond what they were displaying to the rest of the world. And I think the reason why I saw that is because I saw myself in a lot of people. And for the longest time, I just wore masks. I had this image to maintain, and that was what I put out to the world. And so for me, I think what I do professionally has now complemented what I'm doing personally, because I'm fortunate to work in a field that I'm really, really passionate about. So currently I work for the UK government. I work nationally on what is called health inequalities. And essentially what you tend to see, just to like break it down, is differences in health outcomes for people who are rich versus people who are poor. And those are kind of unavoidable kind of differences. And it's impacted by the conditions in which people are grow, in which they're born, in which they live, in which they work. And you just see differences that are impacted by what we call the wider determinants of health. So things like education, employment, access to green spaces. There's a whole number of things that impact people's life outcomes. So that's something I work on professionally. And through that, I started to get more and more involved in mental health. So one of my portfolio areas is mental health. I became a mental health first aider. So it's similar to like where you have like physical health first aid, you're able to intervene and give someone kind of life-saving intervention if they're having some sort of physical health distress. It's just the same thing, but for mental health. So if someone's having some sort of breakdown or something like that, you're able to recognize the signs. But I became so much more passionate about mental health when I started to go through my own struggles. So one of the things I've started to do is document that a lot on my Instagram and now recently on YouTube. So I have started to speak about some of the struggles I had with body dysmorphia and body image, and then also depression. And I can come on to where some of that kind of stem from. But in a nutshell, my passion is just helping people, just equip them with basically my life experience and like what has happened to me as a way to get them to start to explore themselves.
That's inspiring, you know, like not everyone puts out, you know, real stuff like that's happened to them and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm just like encouraging you to just keep going and just keep pushing it. And I hope that your vision like grows to the place where you want it to be. And the reason why I say to be, because sometimes some people think that you've got to have the whole world has got to know, because it's like, oh yeah, you're on YouTube or this, but sometimes it's just where you want it to go. And if it's for the people, and I just hope that the people that you reach out to and that, you know, get to hear your message can be touched and inspired by it, and it can, you know, it can save someone's life out there, whether it's a female, a male, whether it's a mother, father, uncle, auntie, whoever. Like, your story can, you know, really touch someone. And so I just hope that it reaches where it's supposed to go.
Thank you.
And any way that I can support in, you know, by pushing what you do, just let me know. I'm your brother.
supported now by doing, you're honestly supported now by doing this. But the truth is that so many people are just dealing with all these silent struggles and battles. And it truly breaks my heart. And I think for me, we'll probably start to unpack where it started from. But I think when I just share more about like what's happened in my short 30 years of life, it will make sense. Yeah, it will start to make sense.
So tell me about your journey, because obviously, like, I know some of your journey, but this people that don't. So just tell us a bit about your journey. Like, feel free, take it away.
Where do I even start? So I would say that
sorry to cut you. You start wherever you want to start.
I would say that growing up, I really lacked identity. I would say that not only did I not know who I was, but I also didn't like what I saw. And I think that because of that, and because of the community that I come from, so I'm Nigerian, and specifically I'm from the Igbo tribe. And I say that because I feel like as a people, particularly Igbo people, we're very proud, we're very image conscious, and we like to have our stuff together. So people don't really air out their dirty laundry like that. You just have to be a certain way and just be a high achiever, and that's just that. And I think a lot of people crumble under that pressure. So I would say that growing up, I really, really lacked identity. On top of that, one of the things I speak about a lot is just the power of spoken words. The words people speak over us, particularly at certain ages where we're very impressionable, where we're still trying to like grow and understand who we are as people. It's very easy for people's words to really impact. And one of the things I speak about I spoke about this for the first time very openly, is my struggles with body dysmorphia and where that started from. So in my family, we have very big arms. You could be really, really slim and then have big arms. And growing up, I did a lot of sports. So the genetic side of stuff, plus all the sports I was doing, my arms became very noticeable. And I found that was something that certain aunties and uncles would pick at, and they would do it in a very humiliating way. And long story short of that is that I became very obsessed with certain parts of my body, to the point where I wasn't eating, but I was doing so many sports, and it had real impacts on my health. I fainted in Walthamstow Market, for people who know where Walthamstow Market is. And it just went on to have really kind of bad impacts on me in terms of my ability to like come out, face people. It stopped me from being sociable and stuff like that. I just became so image conscious that by the time I got to uni, I was very reclusive. And I feel like it's really dangerous, particularly as a woman, when you don't know who you are, because then obviously I've gotten to an age where I'm liking boys and all the rest of it. And then a lot of my self-worth and self-identity was then being shaped by whoever I was with.
Sorry to cut you 1 minute, yeah? By the way, guys, yeah, she's married now, yeah, so she's officially taken. So I don't want no mandem to holler at me and say to me, yo, John, hook me up with this inside it. Obviously, no, she's officially married. She's married. Come on, show the ring, show the ring. Yeah. Okay.
It's funny you say that, because I am married. I got married last year, but I was also married previously. Okay. And that was what I was coming on to, because I was saying that when you're in a space where you're seeing things with broken lenses, where your self-worth is being determined by the value that somebody else sees in you, it can be a really dangerous place. And so in uni, around 2008, 2009, I got involved with someone. After 5 years, we got married. 18 months later, basically, we were separated and it was over. And I have to say, it was a very abusive relationship. And in the end, it became physically abusive. But the reason why I am so passionate about sharing is because I see so many people making the same mistakes, seeking validity from another person, seeking their source of self-worth is in another person. And this kind of desire to feel complete, to feel whole, you put all of that pressure into someone else, and there's nobody else that can actually complete you. So I made the mistake of marrying because I was lost. And it's hard to say that, because I think for me, that's where the beginning of healing was. Yes, I've mentioned the abusive part, but I had to accept the fact that I picked him. And not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can sit in that and take responsibility for what it is that led them to the point that they got to. I hit rock bottom when that marriage ended, like rock bottom. I was so angry, but the person I was most angry with was myself, because I saw all of this. Like, no matter like how much we hide from other people, we can't hide from ourselves. So I saw all of this before entering. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew this isn't a person I should be with. There was all sorts of signs, but I went through with it anyway because of the void that he fulfilled for me. I felt so much validity when he gave me that ring. I finally felt like I was worth something. When he would pick me up, I would be high, and when he dashes me and thinks I'm rubbish, then I'm rubbish. And that's just a dangerous place to be in. And I think for me, what I wish I had at that time was more people who had been through the same that could just share and say you're not alone. I feel like it was a really isolating period to be 25, 26 going through a divorce. Not many people speaking about it, lots of aunties and uncles in my community gossiping about it. My parents were exceptional, I have to say, and I feel like I got through that period because they massively shielded me and just supported me through it. They didn't ask no questions or nothing, they just had my back. So I just want to shout them out for standing beside me through it all. And to the people who remained beside me, because I had even bridesmaids that disappeared off until this day, have not checked for me. They have not even asked, how are you? I got left. I got left. And it was just very humiliating, very embarrassing. And I just had like a mental breakdown, like I seriously depressed, didn't know how I was going to go forward. But I would say that my healing journey started the day I held the mirror up to myself. So I had to hold the mirror up and look at myself and say, who are you? Like, how did you get here? And when I started to ask myself some really tough questions, that was the beginning of the journey for me.
So what advice would you give to someone that's in the same situation? Like that's, you know, because that it's obviously during this like lockdown period, there's been a lot of mental abuse cases have just like risen. Like, it's just, I can't even tell you the numbers and situations that I've heard of, and it's just crazy. So what advice do you give to someone that's in that situation? And another thing I also want to add on to that as well, there's also guys that get abused as well. And
definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of guys like don't speak about it, in terms of they feel like if they speak about it, they'll come out and they'll be looked at as soft or weak. So like, it's just for both, like, what advice do you give to women and men? And like, I don't want to generalize it just to women, because there's also men that need to hear some advice as well.
There's a smaller proportion of men that go through it, and I think that's perhaps why we hear more about the women. But I think there is another issue where it concerns men. And on my Instagram, I have done lives with men to start to unpick that, because, for example, even with like suicide, like suicides disproportionately impact men. There are more men. I think it's 3/4 of suicides are male, and of a particular, the younger age group, I think it's the number one causing like source of death, and particularly for the Black community too. There's the suicide rates are seriously high. So you raise a really, really good point on that, and it's something I've started to really unpack. I think it's really complex, the reasons why, you know, men don't speak. I think there are a lot of kind of societal and cultural pressures around like things like tough guy syndrome and stuff like that. So, you know, image and just this expectation that you just have to deal with it. and just man up and things like that, that cause our men to not necessarily have the tools to be able to communicate. And that's something I've been unpacking on my platform. I was really fortunate to have some really brave guys to share their experiences. I had Shocker on there, who's a rapper, and he spoke about being sectioned 3 times. I had a black male psychologist, Dr. Kamal Birch, who spoke about his experiences from a professional standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint, where mental health is concerned. So you raise a really big, good point on that, and it's something I've been exploring more. But in terms of advice, I would say that it depends on what's going on. So if you're not safe, get out. That's you have to be alive first to be able to even address anything or do anything. Like there's a lot of, especially in our culture, like divorce is so taboo. And I'm not necessarily here saying divorce or advocating for divorce. That's not my message. That's not what I'm about. I'm not here to give anybody that advice. But my first thing would be to say, get to safety. If you're not safe in your environment, there are women's refuges. If you've got family members, just seek help and get to somewhere safe. That would be my first piece of advice. The second thing I would say is that a lot of the times we focus on the other person. I think for me, the biggest learning for me was to know and understand myself first before I could be anything to anybody else. I need to know and love and understand and appreciate myself first. I can't be of help to anybody if I don't know myself. And sadly, I see so many people going into relationships thinking someone else is going to complete them. For me, in terms of healing, I had to be really, really intentional. So when I say intentional, I'm talking about small, daily, intentional actions. Things like getting out of bed. Because for a period of time, I couldn't. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't do nothing. I was just gone. So I had to start setting myself small goals, like just getting out of bed, getting dressed and going for a walk. Find somebody that you can be accountable to. I had 1 or 2 people that I could trust. Eventually I went for counselling. I'm so pro counselling. The right counsellor can make such a big difference. I think for me, in my head, everything was all over the place. And what counselling did for me was it helped me to kind of compartmentalize things, put things in order, just get my head clear and speak certain things out and try and understand it. It really helped having those conversations. They're able to equip you with tools, ask the right questions that help you get to the root of certain things. And I think for me, there were things that happened in my family that perhaps I hadn't addressed or been able to communicate or deal with. And I just saw how that cycle was just repeating itself in terms of the behaviors that I was now displaying. So I'm very, if you can speak to someone, go to your GP can refer you if you don't have money for like private counselling or anything like that. They're not allowed to not refer you, because I know a lot of the times people kind of face barriers when they engage with healthcare professionals. It's a public purse. You can advocate for yourself if you need something. So you can speak to your GP. They have other charities that you can contact. Mind is one that comes to mind. There's a number of them. But get in contact with, it doesn't have to be somebody you know, but if you can make yourself accountable to somebody trusted or an external kind of body, that charity or whatever, like I would start there. But my encouragement would just to be to take action. Like, don't sit in it. It's really unhealthy. My hope is that more people start to talk about this, because what I've found is that the more I started to be really open about my struggles, the more people have opened up to me. And sometimes it's overwhelming, the number of people contacting me saying, you know, they've got kids with this person, they're going through physical abuse, or, you know, something's happened, or there's been like a lot of people who have reached out to me with their situations. And I'm no expert. All I do is just share what I've learned on my own journey and what I did. And somehow, some way, seeing that somebody else has gotten through it is sometimes all the help and encouragement that you need to believe that you can get through it yourself. It doesn't have to mean the end of the relationship or the end of the marriage if it is one. It just needs two people that are committed to just doing work on themselves individually before they can come back together and do something as a couple. So that's like my start. That would be my starting point. I could probably like say more on that, but I would start there.
So a question I want to ask you is, how do you plan, or are you planning to help your community and country? Mm-hmm. Whether it be the US or UK, I know you're international now, so you know, or Niger, so you know what I mean. But
yes, obviously I'm living in the US now, but obviously London, you know, I still rep for London in everything I do, because obviously that's where I grew up. Yeah. In terms of help, I think I've just been trying to be courageous. So I define courage as acting despite fear. I get really nervous and really scared every single time I post something or record something, but I do it anyway because I believe there's been purpose to my pain. I have this, like, one of my favorite quotes that I saw is that the secret to life is making stepping stones out of stumbling blocks. And to me, that's all about perspective. So the way in which I've been helping is just by being open. And the more open I am, the more it encourages other people. There's been such healthy dialogue. And it's beautiful to see, because I see sometimes, especially in the African community, I'm going to, you know, go a bit wider, I see toxic patterns. I believe the solutions lay in our home, in our foundations. And oftentimes the way in which we learn to communicate, the behaviors, the patterns, it all starts from what has taken place in the home. So I see the solutions there in the security and the stability of the home. So I'm a big advocate for just transparency and seeing vulnerability as a strength and just sharing. And I find that the more I share, the more it encourages other people to share, the more people see that there's actually a community of people who are more similar than they are different. A lot of us have gone through these experiences, and it's funny because I thought that maybe it was just our generation. Then my mum opened up because she was married before my dad. You see, there's things that we just don't know and understand, and it just takes you being courageous and having a certain conversation. And then in my church community, as I started to speak up, certain ministers, their wives came and told me, do you know what, this happened to me too. And I'm like, where were you, all you people, when I was there thinking that I'm this damaged goods? Like, it's just me. There's something deficient and inadequate about me that has happened to me as an individual. But the truth is that these things are so much more common than we realize. And even if it seems like with previous generations, you know, marriages were stronger, etc., I just think that perhaps some of the women weren't as empowered to be able to leave toxic and abusive situations in the first place. But I just wish there was more open dialogue, real talk, sharing, so that people don't feel like they have to have it together all the time, because none of us are perfect. So that's how I plan to help the community, just by continuing to share, continue to reach out to people, have conversations like this to show people that if they are going through similar struggles, if they're going through mental breakdowns, there's still so much stigma around mental health, like that they're still a part of the community. There's still, you know, there's so much that unites us. And I don't think that we see it. And I think, like, with social media and with so many things, we're so image conscious and superficial now that we rarely get to the core of who somebody is. So I just plan to just continue to be me and continue to be open, and to start to talk about confidently some of the toxic patterns and behaviors that I see happening in our community.
So where that's this firstly what you're it's amazing. Like I'm blown away. But obviously because it's like I'm hearing it now as in like someone that's listening to it. Because I know you and we've spoken and I know what you do. It's different. But when I'm hearing it from you and I'm seeing you talk like this, I'm just like, wow. Because it's like even the way you're just bold about it, I know that you're just like shy, remember shy one, that's calm, love it. Yeah.
I'm so passionate about this, I know.
Yeah. I can see it and it's so amazing. And I'm just wanting to encourage you to just keep going no matter what. No matter what hurdle comes your way, keep going because
Thank you.
This is what I believe is gonna set people free. And it is the truth, and it's the truth that doesn't get spoken about. It's the things like you said that are hidden from when you've had like ministers as wives and stuff coming to speak to you. That's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really catch stuff like that. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff gets hidden. So you know what? It's amazing what you're doing, and just keep going. It's even encouraging me. Do you know what I mean? So maybe if I've got a situation, at least I know that, right? You know what? There is people out there that want to open up and talk. So I can, you know, holler at you and be able to just talk. And sometimes it does help. I think there's some things that me and you have spoken about on private conversations that we've had. You know? So, and it's just amazing. So just keep going, man. It's just wow. I don't know what to say. It's just wow.
Thank you. I just hope people like just if there's anything they take from this, it's just like if you're struggling, you're not alone. Please reach out to someone before it spirals to a place where you can't control it. Like it honestly, it breaks my heart. And every time someone reaches out to me and says, look, I'm going through this, I'm just, you know, I feel overwhelmed at times because I'm just like, this is just so sad. And when you look at the person, you would probably have no clue. And I think that's just how these things happen. Like sometimes it's even the strongest people that are going through the most and you won't realize it. I always tell people, even the encouragers in your group, check on them. Like you just don't know what's happening behind closed doors. That couple that, you know, you're envious of or you're wishing you had their marriage. I don't like people to like see me as goals or anything like that. Listen, I'm a learner. I'm still figuring things out. There's things I still work on even till today. I don't want anyone seeing me as goals or anything like that. I'm just someone who has a lot of self-awareness. I've become really comfortable in who I am. I took some time to just get to know who I am, not who I want people to think that I am, but who I am at the core, including the ugly bits, including the flaws that, you know, perhaps I didn't want people to see. I've had to just sit in that and just accept this is who I am. Okay, these are the things I need to work on. But at the core, this is me. And I think more of us need to get to that place before making any kind of long-term commitments or bringing any children into the world or anything like that.
Yeah. So, Mon, where can people like, you know, if they want to follow you, where can they see you? Like, where can they, you know, watch your videos? Like, can you like just share some of your details?
Yeah. So I'm mainly active on Instagram at Monnie UK. So that's MONNIE UK. Like that's like mainly where I'm active on Instagram. I've recently started YouTube, Monnie. But if you go on my Instagram, you'll be able to see the links to everything. I've done some Instagram lives and things like that. And then you can always reach me on there. I'm mainly active on Instagram, I would say.
Okay, so what about those that are not on Instagram, not on YouTube? Because there's people that are, you know, they're just not on social media. So,
okay, so the email that I do give out, if people, you know, want to reach out or need help or want to talk to me about anything, you can email me. So it's Monica Ezue, Monica MONICA, surname EZUE @gmail.com. If you email there, it's also connected to like my YouTube and stuff. So emails will come through on there and I will be more than happy to kind of, I love talking to people, especially new people. So feel free to reach out.
That's really cool. So just another question that I want to ask again. You know, I'm asking loads of questions, question for questions. But so obviously I'm going to post this on, I'm going to send this out. I'm going to post this. I'm going to send this out to some people as well. Some people are behind the scenes and they're literally not on social media as well. So, they're going to want to hear it. So my question is, if they have questions and they want me to ask some questions to you, because maybe they're shy and don't want to come on, or for some people it's for safeguarding reasons as well. why they don't want to come on the platform and stuff like that. Would you be willing to come on again and you know, would you give us some of your time?
Most definitely. Like, I have all the time in the world for anyone who needs any kind of help and support.
Yeah.
Like, most definitely. And I definitely understand that it's not easy. Like I said, courage to me is acting despite fear. So just find the strength. If you need help, do reach out. Like, do reach out. There's no judgment here. And to be honest, like, there's never been a person who's reached out to me and anyone's ever found out that they've reached out to me. I'm really careful about stuff like that, because someone's trusting you with their life and with their information. So yeah, just reach out to me, go through you, whichever way.
No, if people listen, guys, like, let me just put it out, yeah. If you can holler directly that she's given the information, I want it to be directly. This is not about me. That this is just something. I'm glad that, because this is the first time we're obviously, like I said, you're the first person we're having this that's going to be on this.
Yeah.
So I just want to put this out there. This ain't about me. Yes, it's me hosting it. Yes, it's me asking the questions and all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's me that's obviously reached out to you to come on. But I want people to also be able to have the opportunity to reach out to people like yourselves. And look, guys, you can reach out directly. You ain't got to come through me. Like, you don't even got to tell me certain things that, you know, you can reach directly out to you. And that's what I want. I want this to be something different, where it's about the people. Do you know what I mean? And there's things like that I might not be able to help someone with. And if you're in a position to help them, then you know what, let them come to you, because what's the point of them coming to me if I'm going to be no use to them? Now, so I'm saying this is the reason why, to have like people like yourself coming on here to be able to reach out to you is what I want. So,
but that's the thing, bro. It's amazing that you're using your platform to do this. I see your heart in all of this. Like, obviously, like, you don't have to support me, and it's crazy, because obviously when people see you doing something, there are very few people that will actually like support. They see what you're doing and they will do whatever they can in their power to support. So I just wanted to say thank you. Like, I appreciate you so much, and I'm sure people will see this about you. Anyone who knows you probably knows this. You've always had a heart for people, a heart for the community, and I think it shows in what you're doing now. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. You know, I'm humbled by you saying that, and it's sad that that doesn't always get portrayed. You know, but if you know me, you know me,
absolutely.
And I think I'm also at the point where I'm grown now, and if you know me, you know me, and if you don't really know me, then you don't. I can't please everyone.
Exactly.
But what I can do and what I will do is I will do my best to reach out to the people and help. And if there's any way that I can help people, I will help. And I know that love will be given back to me as well. And you know, I don't do it for even the love back, because I do it because I have a passion to do it. And so and that's my passion, and what you're doing is amazing. And I think the world needs to know. So big up to you. Thank you for giving me your time, all the way from.
Thank you for your time.
From London to US. I don't know the next destination. I don't know if it's Nigeria, or I don't know where it is.
I need to stay put here for now, because it's too much. Moving is stressful. Like, let me just stay here for some time. Okay. Yeah.
No, thank you honestly for your time.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. I'm wishing you nothing but the best. Like I said, in any way I can support, anything you want me to repost, anything you want me to do, just let me know. Listen, you basically your family. You ain't even got to just just say, yo, thank you, do this, do that, and just get it done.
Thank you so much. No, I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Nah, listen, I appreciate.
Nah, keep doing this. It's important. Keep it up.
Listen, I know for a fact that I'm going to be contacting you again, because once I put this out, I know that people are going to message me and be like, this question. And obviously it's great as well, because I work with some young people as well. And there is like young females as well that need to hear things from different, like from females as well that are a bit older than them, a bit more mature, been through stuff as well. So it's just great. You know what? Just keep doing what you're doing. Big up to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. So hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Yes.
We'll catch up
we
soon.
Have to.
We have
yeah,
to.
I'm gonna scold you privately. Yeah.
But when you hit London,
I'll holler, trust me.
Yes.
I'll holler.
Yeah, and if vice versa, if I come to your city.
Yeah, definitely. There's more than enough room here. So.
Yeah, but listen, guys, let's connect. This is about connecting. This is about all of us connecting, trying to make an impact, not just for ourselves, but for others, for the next generation to come. And I'm calling everyone else that wants to come on. It's open. Just message me, hit me up. Let's get on this talk. You know, aunties, uncles, everyone. This knowledge just flow. We need this knowledge. Yeah. We need this knowledge. We're in a time where, look, unfortunately, the truth of it is, I'm not trying to scare anyone by this. I'm like, should I even say this? But you know what? I'm just going to keep it real. Tomorrow is not promised. We don't know. It's not. And we don't, the way the world is going, we just don't know what's happening. Like, one day you wake up, you hear something, and you're like, whoa. So if we can make an impact, I say the time is now.
Yeah. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Look, keep saying thank you to each other. No, thank you.
I'm gonna keep thanking you.
I'm thanking you, and it ends there.
And I'm thanking you.
Yes, but I want to say the last thank you is me, right? Thank you. Just receive it and say yes. Okay, accept it. Yes.
I'm receiving it.
That's it.
Okay.
All right. Cool, man. All right then. You take care of yourself, and we'll be in contact real soon.
All right then. You too.
Right.
Take care.
See you later. Take care.
Bye. Bye.